What if the best fiction didn't just help you understand your problems, but showed you how to use them? For over a century, literary fiction has helped readers recognize patterns in their lives. Characters have epiphanies. They accept hard truths. They find meaning in suffering. But then what? That's the question integration fiction answers. Welcome to the Integration Fiction Podcast. I'm AI Alex Eleanor, and in this episode, we're laying the foundation. What exactly is integration fiction, and why does it matter? If you've ever finished a beautifully written story and thought, okay, the character finally gets it, but now what? This episode is for you. Here's the simplest way I can explain integration fiction. Think of your life experiences as ingredients. Your past, your cultural heritage, your relationships, your struggles, all of it. Raw ingredients sitting on a kitchen counter. Traditional literary fiction helps characters recognize their ingredients. Oh, that's why I'm afraid of commitment. It's because of my childhood. The story ends with the character seeing what's on the counter. Integration fiction goes further. Characters don't just see their ingredients, they become chefs. They inventory what they have, they understand the properties of each element, what heals, what nourishes, what transforms, and then they create original recipes that serve their family's specific needs. That's the shift, from passive recognition to active creation. A character in an integration story doesn't just understand their fear of intimacy. They use that understanding to create specific family traditions that help their child feel securely connected. They take the insight and cook with it. And here's what I love about this metaphor. Chefs don't throw away imperfect ingredients. They figure out how to use them. A slightly overripe tomato becomes the base of a sauce. Day-old bread becomes breadcrumbs. Integration fiction characters do the same thing with their experiences. Nothing gets wasted. Everything becomes an ingredient. So what does integration fiction actually look like on the page? There are 4 key characteristics. First, small moments carry profound weight. In integration fiction, transformation doesn't happen through dramatic revelations or life-altering events. It happens during homework time with your kids, standing in line for fruit juice, a weekend family trip, tasting a familiar food with new understanding. Why small moments? Because that's when people's guards are down. They're just being themselves, and that's when truth slips out. That's when real change occurs. Second, cultural authenticity serves universal themes. This is important. In integration fiction, cultural details aren't decoration. They're not there to add flavor or educate outsiders about an unfamiliar world. Cultural elements are load-bearing. If you removed them, the story would collapse. They're integral to character psychology and transformation. The test is simple. Can you swap out the cultural details for different ones and have the same story? If yes, they're decorative. If no, if removing them breaks the story's logic, they're load-bearing. That's what we're aiming for. Third, past and present illuminate each other. Integration fiction uses sensory triggers and what I call time collapse moments. A character tastes something, smells something, touches something, and suddenly the past isn't separate from the present. They coexist. The same sweetness, the same words, the same love, but transformed understanding. This isn't nostalgia. It's not wallowing in memory. It's the past becoming a tool for present transformation. Fourth, characters reach wholeness by incorporating rather than rejecting. This is the heart of it. True healing in integration fiction doesn't come from forgetting the past or escaping your circumstances. It comes from incorporating everything into a fuller understanding of self. The broken places become foundations for something more beautiful and connected. Now, here's where integration fiction challenges something deep in our culture. We've been told by movies, by books, by the whole mythology of the tortured artist that depth requires trauma, that suffering creates wisdom, that you need to be broken to become interesting. Integration fiction says no. Conscious integration, not suffering, creates wisdom. Characters become fascinating through intentional living, not through surviving hardship. Stable lives can produce rich stories. Contentment and love are excellent ingredients for meaningful transformation. Happy families have inner complexity. Peace doesn't equal shallowness. You don't need to break something to make it beautiful. This matters because so much literary fiction has taught readers, often unconsciously, that their lives aren't dramatic enough to be worthy of great stories. That if they haven't suffered enough, they don't have anything interesting to say. Integration fiction rejects that. Characters can take good lives and make them even more intentional and connected. They can find profound meaning in stability, not just in crisis. Let me make this concrete with a quick example. Recognition story pattern. A character realizes, I see now that my childhood shaped my fear of commitment. Story ends. The reader understands the pattern. They might even feel moved by the character's insight. But the story closes with recognition. We don't see what happens next. Integration story pattern. Same character, same insight about childhood and commitment. But then, now I'm going to use this understanding to create Saturday morning traditions with my daughter that honor our heritage while serving her specific needs. The story shows the character doing something with their insight, wisdom in action. The reader doesn't just understand, they witness practical application. That's the difference. Recognition stories end with, I see it now. Integration stories continue to, and here's what I'm doing about it. So that's integration fiction in a nutshell. Characters as chefs, small moments with profound weight, load-bearing cultural details, past and present collaborating, wholeness through incorporation. And underneath it all, a rejection of the idea that you need to suffer to become wise. In the next episode, we'll look at how integration fiction builds on a century of literary tradition, and why even Chekhov, the master of the recognition story, pointed towards something more. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in episode 2.